Welcome back everybody, Christmas is approaching and like every year I like to do a little promotion on how Cookbook to make sure nobody forgets that we have one French Cooking Academy 100 essential recipe for the home cook. If you didn't know that we have a book, yes, it is a great compact book, 20 techniques, 80 recipes, some classic and most of it unique recipe you're not gonna find anywhere else, okay? It is made for the home cook, simple instruction. You only need supermarket ingredients for this recipe. They are super easy and you're gonna get something special every single time. Today, to demonstrate this, we're gonna be making that. That is the most beloved recipe from the book that everybody has tried and everybody has loved because it is so simple, so succulent and so unique. Look at the picture. The artisan crustless cheesecake. All right, that recipe is in fact so easy that all what you need is a spatula, a cake pan, a food processor or an immersion blender. You don't even need a bowl or whisk or anything, and an oven. 5 ingredients, 5 minutes preparation, and you're gonna get exactly what's on the picture. If you don't believe me, let's do it now. So before we begin, let's have a little sneak peek inside the book itself. And this is the format. People are wondering always, oh, how is it laid out? Well, you're going to have the name of the recipe. You got a little story about the recipe. You've got the ingredients. So you can see the size of the ingredients. There's like 4 or 5 ingredients for that recipe. You got a mise en place section that tells you exactly what to prepare before. And then the instruction. So let me reiterate the simplicity of all this thing in this book. This is half a page of instruction. Basically, 3 little paragraphs on here. And the picture you see on here, like every other picture in the book, is that recipe that was made at the time, taken out of the oven and photographed straight away. So they're not stock pictures, they're not fake pictures, they're exactly what you get. When you make this, you'll get that, okay? Let me show you. Let's begin. First element, I've been talking about the cake pan. This is a Springform cake pan, that thing. And you close it like this. The size, it's very small, that's one. That is the one that's been used to make the cake, actually, still use it. I think it's a 7 inches, aka 17 or 18 centimeter kind of pan. It is small because the cake is very dense. And this has been tested in this size. If you use something larger, the cooking time will change. I can't tell you exactly how much. I haven't tested it. If you want to taste this to have the same result, use the 7 inches Springform pan. We're going to put some butter in there and then we're going to line the thing with baking paper. Now for the greasing, you wash your hand. I'm typically using a piece of butter. So I'm moving around everywhere and I'm go everywhere and I put plenty of butter in there, but you can use, if you want like a spray, you know, I think there's some cooking spray. I much prefer butter, but it doesn't matter, it's going to be under the paper. This is just for the paper to stick. Okay, you'll see why in a sec. Now, for the lining, I'm calling this lining, but it's a bit of a rough lining. I'm just using a piece of parchment paper or baking paper, and I'm putting it inside like that. I am not creasing the paper because I want the bottom, I'll show you in a bit, to be really flat without crease. It needs to be totally flat. So once I'm done, I'm not even cutting anything, you can, but what I want is this, you see? I'm not creasing because I want the bottom here to be really flat and cover absolutely everything in there. That's the most important. And now let's make the batter. Now for the butter. Let me count. As I said, that things were quite simple. I'm really not lying when I'm talking about the book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. You need 500 grams of cream cheese, 4 eggs, whole eggs, 200 grams of sugar, about 150 ml of cream. This is pure cream. When I'm saying pure cream, it's a cream without thickeners, and that is about 35% fat. Okay, the fat content is 35%, so it's just a good quality liquid kind of cream. Okay, that's about it. 2 tablespoons of flour. And this is gonna just take, I mean, not even 5 minutes. The food processor, 2 minutes, maybe something like this. Let's do it. For the butter, as I said, you can use a food processor like I'm doing here, but I think if you were to use an immersion blender, it will work as well. Why do we need a spatula? Because first we need to soften that cream cheese. So you put all the cream cheese in there, and we're gonna pulse the thing to soften it a little bit. Okay. All right, just a little bit. We're done. Now we're gonna add the eggs. The eggs, everything into a bowl. You beat everything into an omelette, kind of thing. Okay, and then everything in here. And now I'm gonna use the about like 30 seconds. Mix the whole lot. All right. The reason we need the spatula is because of that. You can see the sides, it sticks to the side. So I do one, like 20 seconds, something like this. Then I'm putting back all of the cheese in there. Okay, so you go around the side to make sure it's all in here. And then you continue for another 20 seconds or something until it's really smooth. So you don't want any bits of cheese in there, okay? I'm putting the lid back on, and boom. All right, should do. It's barely 30 seconds. Huh? Once you're here, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Now, very important, you have a smooth batter, okay, before you do that, all right? It will continue to smoothen. So from here, what do? We're going to add all of the sugar. Okay, everywhere. Up. It's a lot of sugar, huh? It's a dessert. We're going to add the cream. Okay, up. That's it. And then we're going to add the flour. 2 tablespoons. If you're gluten intolerant, you can use gluten-free flour. Basically, it's that simple. And then a good minute or two. I guess 1 minute is surely enough to get a really smooth batter. Let's go. All right, so my batter is now ready. We're going to pour this into the pan, and yeah, it's ready to be baked. All right, so as I said, everything has been tested, so it should just fit into here, into that little mold. So you take your batter, and you pour everything in. And you take the spatula, you rub the side, and we'll do it off camera to get as much as you can inside. And we are done. For the baking, so remember, you preheat the oven. It has to be hot at 200 degrees Celsius, about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to use the middle rack in the oven, and we're going to cook this for 40 minutes. You don't need to cover it. You don't need to do anything. Remember what I told you about this book, is that you are getting what you're seeing. So this is what it's now. This is what it's supposed to look like. Okay? Keep this in mind. All right. I just took this thing out of the oven, and look, it's gonna have to stay there, and it's gonna start to deflate, and you're gonna have to see that shape. It's gonna have to cave in. It's gonna have these nice crusty brown bits everywhere, and you cannot open it until it has cooled. All right, I've just changed the view on here and tried to, I'm trying to turn around, not making a disaster, but you see these kind of colors on here? See the white, it's pristine white on the inside, it's slightly inflated, it wobbles a little bit, you see how soft? So you can't opening or anything like this. So what it needs to happen here, you need to let it cool down first at room temperature. You see it's going to have this nice shape that's going to start to form. It's going to deflate a little bit. And when it's reached that stage, you need to put it in the fridge, okay? Until it is cold, because that cheesecake has to be served cold. This is the way it's done. I'm back in San Sebastian, in the Basque Country. It is served cold. It's not served lukewarm or anything like that. And it needs to set in the middle. If you were to open it a bit too early, it's still going to be a bit too soft in the middle. So it's crucial to leave that thing to rest. So be patient. Do not be tempted to. But I know it's tempting, because look at this. It is really tempting to open that little buckle here and say, oh, what's inside? Let's eat it. No, we can't. Okay. So I'm going to leave it to rest, and I'll show you the result when it's done. We'll slice it open. Now, once your cheesecake has totally cooled and has been refrigerated, it is time to break it open. Now, to answer the question, can I make this in advance? The answer is also yes. And this is what I've done. I've made it yesterday. I've left it in the fridge overnight, and this is how it looks like after a night in the fridge. Exactly the same look. It's nice and set, and now it's ready to be opened. The only thing, you need to leave it at room temperature a little bit for about 15-30 minutes, so it's not too stiff. All right, so let's have a look. Remember the picture I showed you? That's the top, nice and burnt. I'll remove that buckle here. Up, remove that. And let's have a look. So very delicately, we're gonna unpack our little cheesecake. Whoop, a bit stuck in there. And there we have it. This is the raw product, just unmolded after the night in the fridge. So I've put the cake on a little cake stand, on a pedestal on here, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so you get a nice burn edge and the burn top. It's still a bit stiff. It's just been out for barely 30 minutes. So if you leave it in the fridge, make sure you leave it out for some time. Okay, let's try to a nice angle. What do you think? Should we cut somewhere here? And then it's just a matter of, you know, cutting small slices or big slices. I'm going to be very, very casual on here. Just want to show you. Oh, look at that. And look at this. This is how the cheesecake looks like inside. A pristine white color. I don't know where to put it. A pristine white color. It's nice and soft. I'm just going to take a little spoon and do a bit of a degustation. Look at that slice. I mean, honestly, 5 minutes work. Where do you get that? I've tried to zoom as much as I can on that slice, and for the cake lovers, you might be really wondering, is this a right texture? Look, there's no tricks at all. This is what you get. And look at the consistency. This is still firm because that was in the fridge. But if you leave just at room temperature without the fridge, it's going to be much, much softer. Okay, so let's try not to put my hands always in front of the camera. Okay, I'm just using a simple spoon on here. And it's just like a kind of a cream. There's no crust, you know, it's just fresh enough. And that balance of taste, you can you cut it through and you eat it with a spoon like this, you know. It's seamless to eat, absolutely delicious, and you get the I'm sorry. Some people in the comments like they don't stand when I'm chewing on the camera here, but you really get that little. I love the burnt taste that you get, and the mixture of the fresh cream cheese in here, and it's really light as well. This is one of my favorite and one of the people's favorite as well, because to be honest, it is so easy to make and so easy to eat. Well, finish it. Oh. Anyway, that's it. I think I've demonstrated to you exactly how simple the recipe in our book can be. And just to say that it's not a fluff, I'm not trying to sell you something, it's absolutely true. This book is unique because you're going to have access to recipes that are ultra easy to make. As you can see, 5 minutes, 5 ingredients. And this is the picture from my book that we've made. And this, let me zoom in, okay? This is what I've just made from the recipe. So as you can see, this and that is exactly the same. And all the recipe you have in this book, you're gonna get the same results. So if you're someone that is looking for an extra French cookbook for your collection, get the book. If you're someone that wants to learn French cooking and learn some few tricks and have simple recipe, get the book. If you want to gift it to someone else, it is a great gift. I will also get the book. As I said, there's plenty of promotion going on at the moment. All right, but that's it for the quick video on here. I hope you like it, and if you still are not really sold on this, do make that recipe and you will see, taste the cheesecake, because it is absolutely the most beloved recipe of all. Okay, and for me, I will see you next time anyway for another video on the French Cooking Academy. Remember, the website has got gift card enabled again, thefrenchcookingacademy.com. If you're looking at courses, we've got everything you need for other gift cards, but this is something else. Okay, just check the website. You have all the information. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.